In this episode of Book of the Beast, we're going to be going over questions and comments I've had on the first sets of videos that I've made so far. For you guys watching in the future, this would be immediately after the Tank Buster video, so up until that point. So let's start with Kuberex. Made the comment that the Lucky Stick actually gives any number of rerolls. I think I said in my video it gives 3 rerolls. But remember, you can never reroll a reroll. But if you fail 3 in any turn, you die. So that's an important distinction. You can reroll as many times as you can survive. Which is if you live with a Mega Armored War Boss with a 2+ armor save, you're going to have an awful lot of rerolls on that. Yeah, that's just crazy. So in a lot of places, a lot of tournaments, you might see that they don't allow 2+ rerolls. That if you have a 2+ and you reroll a 2+, the best you can do on the second part is a 4+. So if you do go to a tournament with that, make sure you check their rules before you decide to do that. Metalhead Tribe, the rule that allows you to pick between the Power Claw and the Dirty Syringe is on page 41 in the 7th edition rulebook. You will find it under melee weapons. So this is an important thing because I wasn't sure. I couldn't find it when I was making my Mad Doc video. And being able to choose between the Power Claw and the Dirty Syringe, it really isn't a big deal, but you do have that option according to the 7th edition rules, so that's nice to know. Captain Goldteeth, Toys Over Boys seems to be the best thing in the new codex. Heavy armor for truck boys, etc. due to the no limit. Yeah, it does definitely seem to be a toys book. I've been running now, I played one game now with 90 Ard Boys, where I took the heavy armor upgrade for every unit of boys, and it really does make a huge difference. Basically losing the KFF is a huge blow. You can take the Pain Boy, which is kind of like a pseudo KFF, gives you the same 5+ save most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. But they get pretty expensive. You're talking for an heavy shooter boy is 11 points. That's almost as much as a Space Marine. So you're definitely going for quality over quantity, which is unfortunate as far as I'm concerned. Midori Man, considering the increased importance of HQs in this edition, should I consider getting a couple of grot mobs to fulfill additional troop quotas? Short answer, yes. Yes, especially if you can just bring them in from reserve. You can set up your objectives near your table edge so they can just jump on an objective and hide and go to ground for the rest of the game. Metalhead Tribe, a good thing to think about taking a truck for a squad of 30 is that it's a dedicated transport, so they do gain objective secured. Remember, you only gain objective secured if you use the combined arms detachment. If you're using an Orc Horde detachment, they do not have objective secured. So that's just something to keep in mind with that comment. Essex Boys, have you heard? You have to take Ard Boys with trucks now, as we no longer suffer the strength 3 hits when they explode, and they will explode. With only 6+ save, that's a lot of dead boys when the truck goes pop. It's dead boys from the explosion, dead boys if you fail the pinning test, and it's dead boys if you fail the leadership test. So you can literally wipe out an entire unit of boys, 12 models, just from being in a truck. I'll get to the truck. I haven't gotten over the truck yet, but I will be talking about that later. Essex Boys, trucks are still good for transporting the higher armored models, Mega Knobs, and War Bosses Mega Armor. Yeah, obviously. But of course, it'll still get destroyed. If you go second, you really have to do your best to hide the truck. But if you're going first, you just run it up and then, let them shoot you. And then when they do pop, they'll have a much better chance of saving those wounds. Yes. Let's see. Torino Edge, by the way. Totino Edge. War Bikes used to be 40 points for bosses, and now it's 25. That's an important thing to remember. I did double check that, and he's right. The War Bikes did used to be 40 points, and now you can have any number of gifts of Mork on a character. That's not true. It says very specifically on the page where it goes over the points for the gifts of Mork. It says a model may take 1 gift of Mork and Gork. So you can have multiple. You can have 1 of each in the army, but only 1 on each individual character. Jean-Luc Picard, is there a specific list that you think would make the best use of these guys? In this case, it was Burner Boys. Yes, and that is the Scouting Battle Wagon formation from the Gazgul book. If you're scouting your battle wagons up, then the Burner Boys have a much, much higher chance of actually being able to get in and do something. Of course, a smart opponent will probably still... And then you got 5 battle wagons. True, the minimum points on that is going to be... 575, because you have to have at least a reinforced ram on each one. So that's a lot of points, but you put in 2 units of 10 Burner Boys, a unit of Mega Knobs, and 2 units of Ard Boys, sprinkle them with a KFF or a KFF on a bike so you can get multiple of them. And Pain Boys or Pain Boys, so the models will survive the explosion if it does get wrecked. And then you just move up, and then you can move up, do your scout move up 6, deploy 6, and get your Burner Boys out to do something, as early as turn 2, which would be a great benefit for those guys. So yeah, scouting battle wagon formation is a good, awesome complement to the Burner Boys. And that way you get your battle wagons without having to use up a whole bunch of heavy slots. Rob Zomdi, did you put the Pain Boy in with the Ard Boys? I'm a bit worried about unit that uses it. About that unit because I'm afraid of battle tanks or night battle cannons dropping templates on them. Well, then if you're worried about that, then you just simply not put the Pain Boy with that particular unit. But against all the other small shooting, the Pain Boy is a huge help because not. And of course, the other thing you can do is, of course, spread them out. Make sure they're well spread out so they don't get hit, so you don't lose too many from a pie plate. That's the best strategy against pie plates, is just spread your guys out. Especially since you're going to pre-measure everything, make sure you're in just barely 2 inch coherency throughout the entire mob. And last comment, Midori Man, since the boss knob can take a Power Claw without sacrificing the rocket launcher now, would it be worth taking it, or would it be a waste of points? And this is talking about Tank Busters, and I think the Power Claw on the knob would be a waste of points. You already got melted bombs, so you don't have to worry about vehicles, and you don't really want to get them in combat with anything else. So if the Tank Busters are in combat with infantry models or a monstrous creature or something like that, you've probably already lost the game. So I wouldn't bother with the points on the knob. I do take the knob definitely for the boss pole, for both having the character for mob rule and having the boss pole. So that's 15 extra points, and I think that's well worth that investment. And I can say that I played my Tank Busters once now against Eldar, and when they finally got into range, they did 4 wounds on a Wraith Knight, just right off the top. Can't really complain about that much at all. So that's going to be it for this episode of Book of the Beast. And please leave any more comments and questions either on this video or any other video that I've made or will make. And thanks for watching.